Hey guys, this is Lauren Brantley, and today we're going to be going over Canva Basics. This is a portion of my course that is graphic design for interior designers, and I hope you guys enjoy the Canva Basics, just a snippet of what it is of the full course. If you want to sign up for the full course, that is on edesignu.com. And please let me know if you have any questions, and a little bit later I'll be going over what we go over in the full course. Thank you.
And then when you log in with the dashboard here, and there is a lot here. So you won't when you first sign up with Canva, it might be a little overwhelming, and that's completely understandable. But we're going to walk through it. So this is your home page, your dashboard, and from the top here you have templates, and this is where if you click on here, everything is broke up into categories. And templates is where, if you haven't heard of Canva templates, they have individual categories for presentations, Instagram posts, posters, social graphics, web posters. I use the presentation quite a bit, and I also use Instagram stories. They're very popular right now when it comes to creating those beautiful stories, and Pinterest is actually going into stories as well. I use those quite a bit. So you want to explore around here, and you want to use the key foundations that we teach in the course, as far as typography, color, and layout. You but these templates really help you get a good start on what you need to do. And if you go through here, you might be able to find something that matches your brand. And if not, that's okay. But if you scroll through here real quick, you might be able to find something that really fits what you're looking for. So I encourage you to look through there, and you can always search. It'll come up with suggestions at first, but if you're looking for Pinterest, it'll come up everything for Pinterest here, and they have it broke down like birthday, food, wedding. I usually just hit Pinterest pins. So that's how the templates works, the filter system for that. And then they have featured, and then here is where they have some really cool products that would help market your business really well. You want to take advantage of it. They have apps on here, which they have a Giphy, and then they have a QR code, and they connect to YouTube as well. Different apps, if you can utilize these into your social media and different outlets, they will really help you stand apart. So I encourage you to look into all that. And then this is where you can learn from them if you so choose. And then this is the pricing that they have. And then we'll go back to our dashboard here. You click the Canva. And then we have our left side over here, which if we click recommended for you, this is where they'll recommend us some templates that might work for our business. And it also has our designs, our Instagram posts they recommend, posters, and you scroll down and it keeps going. And then all our designs will show all the designs that we have currently and shared with you. These are templates that have been shared with you via link, and I'll show you how that works in the advanced video. And then a brain kit. Brain kit is only for pro accounts. You cannot do this in the free. So you must have a pro account to upload font and create a brain kit that is within Canva, that lives within Canva. Now you can create the brain kit that we're creating for the course that works wonderfully in doing the same exact process. This is just so that way you can click and drag everything within Canva. And I'll show you how to utilize your brand kit in your branding for your Canva documents at the very end of this video. So let's start with a Pinterest pin. So I don't know about you guys, I always need Pinterest pins. And so when you open up the Pinterest document, you'll see that it has multiple templates for you to start out with. And a lot of these are videos and simple documents that you will need to go up here to filter, and you can do as a colors and languages. So that's a good way to filter out ones that you don't necessarily want that matches your brand. And let's drag one over here. And so once we click that, all you have to do is click it and it'll paste it in there. So now we have our template. And now we need to figure out how to adjust everything and what everything is. So when we look over to the left, we see our toolbar. And we've already went over templates. That's at the very top. And then we'll have uploads. Uploads is where all your images, videos, and audio is stored. Images can be SVG files, which is vector files that are created in Photoshop or Illustrator, and you also can download them for free from various resources, and you can also create them here in Canva as a downloadable option. And so they can also be JPEGs and PNGs. And so when you want to upload an image, what you want to do is click upload, and you can upload from any device that you're working off of: Facebook, Google Drive, Instagram, or Dropbox. And keep in mind when you're uploading from one of the other resources that if you have another Canva account that's connected, you cannot connect to accounts. So you'll want to bear that in mind. So let's see here. I'm going to upload this picture of this rendering I did. And you gotta wait for it to upload. It doesn't take usually that long. Sometimes it takes a little longer. But while that's uploading, you can also upload videos and audio. Audio is an MP4 file of music or anything you want playing in the background. And they also have their own audio that you can add as well, completely free. And so once that's done uploading, what you'll do is you can either drag it like that, or you can click on it and it will come over. If you click on it, you will need to use the scale tools, which is just like in Photoshop, or if you've used PicMonkey or any type of tool like that, it's the same exact way. You just click on the little pins at the end, and then you'll scale it up. Now, if you want to hit the shift tool, it will remove and it'll keep the scale of the actual frame, not the picture. So what I mean by that is, if you'll watch, I'm keeping the frame of the outline to where it's around the actual Pinterest border, and then the photo is not changing much. So that's really what we want in this, and that's how this background is set up. And so just keep that in mind. And then the command tool is accurate scaling to where it's correct and to scale all around. And then the control is the same, command or control. It doesn't matter if you're using a Mac or a PC. And then option will scale it around the perimeter completely on each side. So that's how that works. I'm going to leave that like that. But let's do this. So if you want to change it how it's cropped, all you're going to do is double click, and then it'll open up this window. So the part that's not shaded, that is what's going to show up on your document. If you can tell, that's where the Pinterest pin is. So we want to drag it over a little bit because you can't see the front of this pretty house. So you just move it around. It does provide you with a little grid here, so that way you can tell if you're a little off-centered or anything. I purposely want this to be off-centered, but if you want it to be centered, it'll provide you with a little grid. So then you hit done, and that looks better. And then you can go to, and if you don't want your own photos, you just want to use some free stock photos, which is fine. You go to photos here, and then you can search home or interior. And as of right now, they have, last time I checked, I think it was 40,000, or maybe it's more than that, free photos. So when you go through here, if there's anything within the library with a crown on it, that's not free, that's pro. But anything without the crown you can use. And these are the same as that way. They work the same as that way as the ones that were uploaded. You just drag them over, just like that, or you click them. And so also when you click these photos, there is we'll go over the rest of the photos elements, and then we'll move into other things that you can add. But when you click, and after you see this blue outline here, when you see the blue outline, it means it's selected. So when you click, you'll see background color, effects, filter, adjust, crop, flip, and animate. And this is what effects are going to affect the photo. So right now we got the background color, and it's set to white, which is fine, but there is a filter on this photo. I know there is, because if you go back to your upload, go back to photos, and bring this in, they look different, as you can tell. And I want to remove that filter for this pin. So, but the template I used had a filter. So I'll go to filter, and they're not using that type of filter. But these type of filters are good. These are filters that are a lot like, if you're familiar with Instagram and Pinterest, not Pinterest, Photoshop has filters like this as well in the settings that are presets that are predetermined. I use about one or two of these every so often. But I like the Nordic one. That gives a little bit of a farmhousey type look. And so, and you can, if you click on it, it'll automatically apply it, and then you can increase the intensity of it like that. And so it's a really easy way to edit your photos. And all of these are different. The Nordic one's my favorite. Which one's? And these black and white ones are really nice. The Epic one's good, but I turned that one down. So that gives a nice filter. And then there's also adjust, and adjustments is more like what you would see like in Photoshop, where you can adjust if all the brightness, the contrast, and everything on your own time. And so, and there's also a blur. The blur is not as intuitive as what you would have in Photoshop at all. None of this really is. So you have to be really careful. Sometimes you have to start putting in numbers. So I wouldn't. Canva is not meant to be a photo editor. That's where Photoshop stands in. So you want to not use this as a photo editor. You want to use it for very basic editing when it comes to photos. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. So if you add a blur, see it jumps to 5. So sometimes it's good to come in and just type your number. And that's all based on like what look you're going for there. But you can also adjust your brightness, your contrast, and your X process. And then if you have multiple pins, and like if I was to, let's see. If you have multiple pins and you want to make a copy of this filter that you just applied to this same photo, all you have to do is first make a copy of this pin, and this is where you'll do that. You'll hit duplicate page, or you can add a new page here. And what you want to do is you'll drag another photo, and it will apply that same filter, as you can see. And you also can apply it this way. So you'll bring in a new photo, and then you'll click on the photo you just applied the filter to, and go back to adjust, and hit copy, which is Control or Command C. And then down here in the filter code, that's what keeps up with all your filter adjustments. And then you'll hit paste, and that changes the look. I don't really suggest doing that, only because each photo is different. I usually just add it. And so let's delete those. And then we'll go back to our photo options here. And so you can crop it, like I mentioned. So you can either double click or hit crop. And then you can flip it, like I did a few minutes ago. And what you'll do is you'll click it, and you can flip it horizontally or vertically. It's very unusual that I will need to flip a photo vertically, but it is an option. And then you can also animate it. So they have several options here for the free version to animate your pen. I do suggest doing these for your pens because there's Pinterest stories now, and by doing this, you will make it a story. And so they have several options. I usually just do the rise or something simple. When people are scrolling through Pinterest, they don't really want to see too much fuss. So just do something simple there. And then now we're ready to move on to our text. So when you want to edit your text, what you want to do is click on the box. And this is a grouping. It's already made up for us, the type and everything, which is really nice, but we need to add our own font. And that might mess it up a little bit, but we'll figure it out as we go along. And so what we want to do is click on the area that we want to edit here, and we'll double click it, and that will allow us to type. And so we'll type Lauren Ashley Design. So that worked out. And then we'll type Canva Basics for Interiors. And so see, that happens sometimes when you have a group in there you're using. And we'll deal with that in just a second. Now we'll change the bottom. www. And so now we have this typography that obviously is not going to work when it comes to our standards that we've already set. So we need to make sure that everything is in line and grouped correctly. So what you want to do is you want to click this ungroup button that comes up when you have a grouping, and you want to ungroup it. And now you can individually select each part of this typography. And so you'll click it, and just as you would scale a photo, you can scale the type. And so we'll do that little number. And now we need to change the color in the background and where this is placed. And we just need to adjust a few things. So we're just going to, talk through it and talk about how to move everything and go about that. So again, you just scale it up and then move this with the move button. See how I did that? Use the move. Okay, so now what we want to do in order to get our brain colors on here from our brain kit that we created, we want to use a fun plugin from our Google Chrome to color pick off of our brain kit. So let's jump over to our brain kit and then click our plugins here, color picker, and then let's use this color. And so we'll grab that and do this. And then there it is. So let's, okay, so now we're going to go over downloading documents. There's a bunch of different options and different ways you can download a document within Canva, and we're going to go over most all of them that's applicable to you as an interior designer anyways. And I get this question a lot with people that buy my templates, people that train for Canva, and it's a very frequent question, so it's important to go over, especially as you go to build your brain kit and use all these different documents for your graphic design purposes. So I'm going to step back into my free account and we'll get started. So we have this beautiful pen that we made, simply and easily. So what we want to do first before we download it is you want to rename it, especially if you use a template. It's going to automatically make a name for it. That was the first type that was at the top, things like that. Or if you added type, it's going to make that the name. So if you have a specific project you're working on, you can use that as the name, or whatever, however you organize your files, you want to rename it to that. And so what you'll want to do is come up here and double click, and then put the name, and then click off to the side to save that name. And if you're ever unsure that it is saving or anything's not saving, it'll come over here and say all changes saved. And if it didn't save, there'll usually be an arrow over the side that says offline, say any changes are not saving. And so watch out for that. If that is happening quite frequently, you might want to contact Canva or check your internet speed. But if something hasn't changed, or if something has changed and it hasn't saved, you can always click File and click Save, and it'll save it again. And over here you have downloading. When you click the little download button, it'll have a suggestion option. Since we did animate this, it does suggest that we make this a video. And I would suggest that you make anything that you animate a video or a GIF, and I'll go over that in a minute. But that is how you'll use this in your stories, and it will move and look really sleek and professional. So what you'll do is at the top you'll see PNG, which is high quality images, JPEG, and PDF standard, and print. The difference between those is the quality and the file size. If you don't have much room on your computer, you can always go with the standard. You're not really going to see much of a difference in how it's presented. So I typically go with standard myself, unless it's presenting renders. I will go with a print. If I'm presenting renders to a client, or like with floor plans, things like that, I'll go with prints. That way everything's high quality. And then you have vectors are only available for a single image that has had the background removed to it, and we'll go over that background removal and things like that in the advanced tutorial. So watch that if you want to go over that. That does require Pro. And then you can download it as a video or a GIF. The GIF is very short. It's like 5 seconds max, and has no sound. If your video is more than 5 seconds, you will not be able to download it as a GIF. So we'll do the video, and then you click download. And now you can also click these 3 little buttons, and you'll be able to see all these other options where you can automatically save it, share it to your Facebook page, your group, Slack, Twitter, anything like that. And also you can automatically publish it to Pinterest as well. And they also have this content calendar that will also go over in the advanced training. And it's really neat to use because you can schedule all your pins and be able to use it just like you would any content calendar that you buy or anything like that. And they're coming out with new features for that content calendar all the time. So it's constantly being updated because it is a new feature. So it's something to definitely play around with if you have a pro account. You can also present these documents. That's not really something you need unless you're using a presentation. And then you can also print them. They have a printing source. If you do see the need to print anything, you can order prints from them. And you can also make mock-ups, things like that, and we'll go over that in the advanced tutorial. There's so much you can do with Canva, so much. But the downloading options within the free account are best utilized in the download button, and then you'll go through here, and it's honestly just a choice if you want a flat image or a movable animated image. If you want an animated image and you've selected one of these animations here, you want to select GIF or MP4 movie. And if you don't, you want a flat image, you want to select PNG, JPEG, PDF, print, or standard. And so that's it for the download options. I hope you enjoyed this basic review of Canva. And if you're interested, please continue to learn about Canva into the advanced settings. And I hope you've enjoyed this course so far. And let me know if you have any questions. Join the forum over in the app, and I'll see you over there.
Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that little tidbit of my course, Graphic Design for Interior Designers. I hope you learned a little bit more of how to get started with Canva and the basics. I know it's very helpful to you guys that have bought my templates. I'm going to include the link to my templates and also on how to create your Canva account and some applicable links there. I'm also going to include the link here. You'll see that if you become an EDA member, you'll get 50% off my course. I'm going to include the link to that as well. But let's go over a few of the benefits to my course. So, first off, you'll learn why it's important to use graphic design as an interior designer. There are several benefits to that. We'll go over that, and we'll also go over the 3 basic tools that graphic designers use: typeface, layout, color. Some of these things like layout and color, you'll see they're very similar within the graphic design and interior design world, so they do cross over there. We'll go over Canva like you saw in the video, and we'll also go over the basics of Photoshop. Illustrator and InDesign are very basically touched on. We don't go over them as in depth as Canva and Photoshop, but we'll also go over a price comparison of all 4 tools. So there is a lot to go over there in the course, and I encourage you guys to check it out. And let me know if you have any questions about the course or anything about what we went over in the video. I look forward to hearing your comments. Blessings.